Before we continue with the rest of this lesson and inserting the handlebars and connecting the handlebars to the rest of the fork, we need to save this assembly. However, I want to save this assembly in such a way that the wishbone part and this tree bottom part are not saved over the original data. You'll remember that we made a change to the width of the wishbone part, and we made a change to the diameter of the leg holes in the bottom tree part. I want the original versions of these parts to continue to exist so that people who want to go through the steps that I've gone through here can also do that. So what I'm going to do is save this assembly using copies of these parts. Let's go to File, Save As, and click on the References button. Let's also click on the More Options button. I want to add a prefix to all of the parts in this assembly, and I want to call everything Practice. And I want to put it all into a special folder. So if I hit Browse, and within the motorcycle folder, I'm going to make a brand new folder called Practice. So now you'll see that all of these parts are going to go to the new Practice folder. When I click Apply next to the Modify Selected Names, let's go through and select all the names first. I selected the top one and then Shift selected the bottom. Now I'll click on Apply, and notice that the word Practice comes up before each of the names. And now I'll just say Save All. To make sure that worked, let's go to Windows Explorer and look in my folder for Infinite Skills. Now I've got this new folder called Practice, and all of these files are in here. Notice also that the name of the current file has been renamed. Control-Q on the keyboard to rebuild, to get rid of the rebuild symbol that was down here, and Control-S, which is Windows shortcut for save. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's put the handlebar into this assembly. So I'm going to insert Component, Existing Part, and I'll browse. I'm looking in the Practice folder, and what I'm looking for is the Practice handlebars. These are the originals. Okay, now the Practice handlebars I can just put into the assembly. All right, now I'm going to mate these in place as much as I can. I'll use the right plane of the assembly, and I'll use a plane from the part. This should be the right plane, yes. Mate those together. Okay, now I'm just going to move these around visually, trying to place the fork in the orientation it's going to be in, and put the handlebar up here, and maybe just visually place the handlebars where I think they will belong. We can adjust this later if we need to. Okay, so from here, what we need to do is create some sort of structure between the handlebar and the rest of the fork. So this is going to require what we call in-context modeling. The first thing I'm going to do is edit the handlebar in the context of the assembly. To do that, I'll just click on the handlebar, then click Edit Part. This is similar to editing the part in its own window, except that here you can make references to other geometry. This is a very powerful technique, but it can also be very costly. In-context modeling complicates the file management side of things, and it also complicates change management. If you need to make a change, it may be driven by another part in a certain assembly. In any case, let's take a look at how to make this relationship work. I'm going to create a new plane for a sketch, and we're going to sweep a feature that curves off of the handlebar and then goes in a straight line down inside the leg of the fork. In order to do that, I need a plane that goes through the center of the fork. So if I select the fork, I can find one of these planes, let's say the top plane, and open a sketch on that. Now I don't have any sketch toolbar, and there's no sketch toolbar in the command manager, so let me add the sketch toolbar. I'm going to right click on the toolbar area and select sketch. From here, I'm going to draw a line through the center of the tube up to the midpoint of this edge. Make sure that goes vertical. And then get a tangent arc and bring that tangent arc here. And next, what I need to do is find out where this plane intersects the handlebar. To do that, I'm going to use the intersection curve, where I can select this face and then click on the green check. Click it again to get rid of the tool. Take this spline that's been added and convert it into construction geometry. Now notice something unintentional has happened here. And I need to demonstrate things like this happening so that you get a full view of the types of things that can happen to you when you're designing with in-context design. Notice that the handlebars have moved, and this line is supposed to be right down the center of the fork blade, but it's not. So let's correct that. If I exit the sketch, notice what's happened. As soon as I exited the sketch, the part went back where it was supposed to go, but now I'm able to move the part with the spacebar. And if I exit editing the part, notice that there's a rebuild symbol, and this is again incorrect. Pressing Ctrl Q on the keyboard to rebuild, the sketch line updates, but the handlebar is in a drastically different position than it was originally. So let's do this. Let's move the handlebar and then fix it in space. So I'll grab that with the space ball and put the handlebar where I think it needs to be, and then right-click on the part and fix it. This demonstrates one of the primary best practice rules for working with in-context relations, and that is that you should never have relative motion between parts that have in-context relation. So that is to say that the handlebar and the fork itself should never move relative to one another if they're going to have this type of in-context relation. Now that we've remedied that situation, we can go back and continue to design the connection between the two. If I right-click and edit the sketch, I'm back in edit part mode while editing the part in the context of the assembly. I'll connect the arc to the spline, and we're going to use some construction geometry to give these two the proper relationship. So that construction line will be coincident with the center point of the circle, and at the same time, the construction line will be tangent to the spline. This means that the arc hits the spline as close to perpendicular as possible. From here, we need to measure the diameter on the inside, and that's 1.25 inches. So let's create a new plane that's perpendicular to this line at the endpoint. So I select the line and then Control select the endpoint and create a new plane. On the new plane, I draw a circle, and we'll give it a diameter of 1.24. That allows it to slide down in there. And now we need to connect the handlebar. So let's use the sweep feature with the circle we just created and the sweep path. Now this is not exactly correct. We can come back in here and edit the path to include a short straight line. And let's be correct here and put a dimension on this of 1 inch, and also put a dimension on this just to limit it. So this line has been given a 1 inch dimension, and the rest of it is 3.75. So we'll exit. And now we have this feature coming out, connecting to the handlebar. We just need to mirror it. And in this case, we're going to mirror with a local plane. It's better to work with a local feature if you can. Local meaning in the current part rather than an assembly feature. And there's the fork. Let's exit edit part mode. Puts us back into editing the assembly. And now we have our handlebar mounted to the fork. Let's go ahead and put the controllers on the handlebar now. We'll insert component, existing part. We'll browse for this in the regular motorcycle folder. And here's the control. Now in our case, the controller is symmetrical. In reality, there will be a left and a right hand version. So we'll be able to get away with this in the case of this CAD model, where you wouldn't get away with it in a real assembly. So I'm going to grab this part and use SmartMate, hold down Alt, grab the center, and push it onto the handlebar. And I'm going to use another mate, not a SmartMate this time, but a mate that mates this flat face with this flat face at a distance. And we want to flip that distance, so we'll use the flip dimension and actually crank this up to 7 inches. Now, the next thing we need to do is locate the control rotationally. So I'm going to get this where it looks about right. Use a plane that goes through the center of the part and a plane that goes through the handlebar, and mate them with an angle mate. SOLIDWORKS remembers the angle where we had it set up visually before. And now we want to put another one on the other side. So let's Control drag to make a copy, Alt drag to get the concentric SmartMate, and then just drag this out of the way. Let's get the distance mate again, where we select this end face. And let's use Select Other this time. I'm going to right click, use Select Other, and this will give me a list of the other faces that I could select. So the first one in the list is the one that I want. Distance, 7 inches, flip dimension. We want to mate together the planes that we mated for the previous control lever. So let's look at what that was. This was the top of both parts. Okay, so let's look at the top plane of the controller and the top plane of the handlebars. And this angle was 111. And we'll say okay. Now we've got these 3 parts, the handlebar and the 2 control levers, which really are handled best as a subassembly. So let's reorganize these as a subassembly. I'll select the bottom control lever, shift select the practice handlebars, then right click and select the Form New Subassembly option here. This creates a new subassembly. If I right click now, I can save this subassembly to an external file. Right now, that subassembly is what we call a virtual subassembly. It is only saved in the context of the assembly. So it doesn't exist as an external file. I want to save all my files, parts, and assemblies as external files. Double click this to rename it as a practice handlebar assembly. I'll say OK. And now we have a practice handlebar subassembly.